Alright, so I finally finished watching Love Hina. Thank God I'm finally done with this piece of crap. This is without a doubt one of the worst anime I have ever had the misfortune of watching. I was surprised at first that people had such a universal hatred of this series, but after watching it I can completely understand why. This series is awful, it really is. The story is stupid, the characters are completely unlikable, the themes it pretends to have towards the end are completely non-existent, and all in all it will just leave you feeling like you wasted your time watching it.
Well, then it's a good thing you have plenty of time to waste, isn't it, Kay?
You know what? I'm so pissed off with this series, I can't even be bothered to argue with you ever. That's just how bad this series really was.
Heh, then it must have been bad then.
This series is complete and utter shit. It starts out with a lot of potential, but then it ultimately bastardizes it all in the end. Every single episode is just a complete bastardization of the standard plotlines you'd expect from this genre of anime. All the things contributing to the main plotline of Kotaro finding the girl he made that stupid promise to when he was a kid are only ever touched on at the beginning and aren't even looked at again till right near the very end. When it does finally address it, they don't really give you a proper explanation for it and instead just leave you feeling confused and annoyed at it. It's like they were building the whole thing up just so they control anyone who actually had the patience to sit through all the crap they were putting out there. When the series does finally end, it just leaves you feeling annoyed that you wasted your time watching it. Save for Kotaro, Naru and Motoko, none of the characters' plotlines really get resolved at all. And the ones that do get resolved have a very rushed and lackluster feeling to them. But then again, by that point I'd come to expect that from this series. Towards the end of the series it tried to pretend it had all these deep themes about following your dreams and facing up to reality, but by that point it was too little too late. At that point you're just left thinking, no, stop. Stop pretending you're really deep all of a sudden. It might have worked somewhat if I actually gave a crap about any of the characters, but that's something that's practically impossible to do. The jokes just simply aren't funny because none of the characters are even the slightest bit likeable. There was only one joke that even made me come close to laughing throughout the entire series, but I'll get to that in a minute. In short, this series is one of the worst, most stupid, unfunny pieces of crap you could ever have the misfortune of watching.
Just like you.
Like I've said a few times now, none of the characters are even the slightest bit likeable. Well, okay, save for one, but that's something I'll come back to. It seriously, without a doubt, has one of the worst casts of characters I have ever seen in any series. Seriously, when you're making hanging out with Ten Muscato look like a preferable option, you know you've got a bad cast of characters.
I don't get that joke.
KHF hates Ten Muscato.
You hate Ten Muscato?
Hate her. Can't freaking stand her.
How can you hate Ten Muscato? She's adorable and lovable.
I have my reasons, Emma, but that's not the point here. The point is that the cast of Love Hina was absolutely terrible. They all sucked.
You're not about to start doing Awesome Truth's entrance rap, you suck, are you?
Not anymore. Hey Cloud, it's off. Oh man, bitch be tripping. Anyway, let's look at why these characters suck, shall we? Let's start with the main man himself, Kotaro. Kotaro has to be one of the most spineless, pathetic, pushover excuses for a main character I have ever seen. I mean, seriously, what is this guy's problem? He lets all the girls in these flats treat him like complete and utter shit all the time. All of them bully him, accuse him of things he didn't do, and jump to the conclusion that he's in the wrong in whatever complicated situation he might be in. And yet this idiot just smiles and takes it like a bitch. For crying out loud, Kotaro, you're the manager of this place. You shouldn't be taking this from them. Grow a pair, would you? Stand up for yourself. Get some freaking self-respect. Wimps like you who let people just walk over them piss me off so much. Why he's sticking around there is anybody's guess. They work him like a dog, bully him over the smallest of things, and then take the money he works like a dog to earn to spend on themselves. And he lets them. He lets them! Does he have some vain hope of getting laid if he just lets them do whatever they want to do? Well, yeah, basically that's the case. I have never seen more of a spineless pansy of a main character. Hey Kate, you should do your impression of him. Oh yeah.
This is Kotaro. Rainbows make me cry.
As bad of a character as Kotaro is, he is nothing when compared to his love interest, Naru. I bet anybody who's had the misfortune of watching this series has been anticipating what I'll have to say about Naru, because, believe me, she is one of the worst characters ever created, and this isn't an exaggeration. Just ask anybody who has watched this series. Naru is a horrible excuse for a human being. She's just simply a terrible person. I've seen aggressive bitches in anime before, but even they would tell Naru to calm the heck down. Words seriously do not do justice to just how bad this bitch really is. I'm gonna try my hardest to describe it, but she really has to be seen to be believed. Not that I'd recommend watching this series in the slightest. Like I pointed out, she is completely over-aggressive. She gets pissed off over nothing. Seriously, nothing. Absolutely anything Kotaro does pisses her off, and she punches him over the tiniest of things. If he breathes funny, she will punch him. And no, that's not an exaggeration either. She punches him over things that aren't even his fault. When things get complicated, she immediately assumes it's all his fault and will punch him. But the worst part is, in one of the episodes she actually points out that she really doesn't know all that much about him, and yet she always assumes the absolute worst of him. How can you do that to someone you barely even know, you bitch? For crying out loud, in one episode she punches him for agreeing with her. No, seriously, I'm not making that up or exaggerating. Oh, and you're gonna love this one. She always gets pissed off of him whenever he shows any sort of attraction towards her. But yet, in a later episode, she actually gets pissed off when a character she thinks is him isn't showing any form of attraction towards her. So what? You get pissed off at him for being attracted to you. You get pissed off at him for not being attracted to you. Make up your damn mind! It's like she enjoys being pissed off all the time. It's like she likes being angry and assuming the worst of people all the time. Heck, that might not be far off the truth. There is one time, and I'm seriously not making this up here, there is one time where she actually apologises for a brief moment of being nice and polite. No, seriously. She apologises for a brief moment of being nice and polite. It's not even done in an ironic or sarcastic way either. No, she legitimately apologises for a brief moment of being polite. As well as being aggressive, she's also unbelievably selfish, only ever caring about herself and actually admitting that she doesn't care about others. Heck, towards the end, she's actually willing to let her little sister, who's still only a kid, go home by herself in the dark, even though she lives quite far away from her. This girl may without doubt be one of the biggest bitches in anime there ever has been. She says in one episode that she left her home because she was feeling unloved, which is proved completely untrue when her family finally do come into the series, might I point out. But if that were the case, is it really any wonder why? Did you ever stop and consider that it was you with the problem, Naru? No, of course you didn't, because it's everybody else and not you, right? I seriously don't get what Kotaro sees in her. She's not pretty, she's not nice, she's overly aggressive and treats him like complete and utter crap all the time. Not quite seeing the appeal here. She and Kotaro are unbelievably pathetic. When they fail their college entrance exams, she actually cries about it, even though it's only her first try. Boo friggity hoo! Kotaro's failed it like 3 times. It's not like you only get 1 try.
Well, that is quite depressing though, when you fail something that you've worked so hard to achieve.
I understand that, but I also understand crying about it ain't gonna change a damn thing. When these things get you down, you've just got to get up on your feet and try again. Got to head towards tomorrow. Cast off the misfortune of the past and keep moving forward.
Wait a minute. Head towards tomorrow. Isn't that something new?
In any case, I'm only beginning to scratch the surface here with Naru. There's actually a lot more I could say, but we'd be here all night. She's just an overly aggressive, heartless bitch. Wait a minute. Heartless. Nobodies. Nobodies. Heartless. Empty shells. Could she be... no hearts? I think I'm onto something here. Heartless. Nobodies.
Oh, crap.
What?
He's got that twinkle in his eye he gets whenever he has an idea for a theory.
If you smell what KHF is cooking.
Yeah, I was right. This means another headache for me in the near future.
Whew! I might have just come up with a reason behind her behaviour, but that's for another time. Anyway, I suppose you'd want me to follow up talking about Naru with saying what I thought on Mutsumi. Well, quite honestly, I thought Mutsumi was a moron, plain and simple. She's a complete and total moron. When you're making Osaka from Azumanga Daioh look intelligent, that's not a good sign. She's an unbelievably incompetent twit. Despite her importance to the plot, she rarely ever appears in the series till right at the very end. The way things ended with her seemed really rushed and unfinished. They pretty much said, okay, see ya, bye, to her, and that was it. We never really find out too much about her, apart from the things that anybody with more than half a bloody brain cell could figure out on their own. But here's the thing about her. Despite being a complete moron, she was nice, she was kind, she was understanding, she shared the same interests as Kotaro, she was able to cook and provide for him, and she did seem to genuinely and honestly care about him. So why then is he so interested in the girl who treats him like complete and utter shit all the time? Let's compare notes from when he goes out on a date with each of them, shall we? Naru was moody and demanding the whole time, constantly insisting that Kotaro spend a lot of money to take her to somewhere nice and expensive to show her how much he thinks she's worth. Then she went and assumed he was going to take advantage of her afterwards. Mutsumi, however, was just completely content with spending the day with Kotaro. No matter what they did or where they went, it didn't matter to her just as long as the two of them had a good time and enjoyed each other's company. Any normal person would have gone for the latter in that situation, but not Kotaro. Heck, his friends point out that Mutsumi is the ideal girlfriend, and she herself admits she genuinely cares about him. Yet he still wants the girl who's been treating him like complete and utter shit and hasn't been even the slightest bit nice to him this whole time. Why?